Hello again, this is Bernadette Brady, and now we're going to look at the next part of the family module, which is the manual search. But first of all, you won't be able to get anything opening up until we actually load up a project. So let's do that first of all. Now, if we go to File and click Open, what I think could be quite interesting to do is not so much look at a family, and we've got the Dutch royal family, and we've been dealing with the Kennedys, and we've even had a look at the British royal family. But let's do another collection of people. Let's take the collection of US presidents, which comes with Jigsaw. This is only up to Clinton, but you can just simply add the G.W. Bush into it at your leisure. Okay, so let's pretend that they're a family. Now, they're not a family in terms of all being alive at the same time, obviously, but they are a collection, a group, a unique set. One of the interesting things in research work is to be able to take a unique or complete set, and the presidents are. So let's just actually have a look at them. Here they are, starting from George Washington. Some of them are timed, as you can see. Some of them are untimed if the time is not known. You can actually see the data that's connected to them all. And they're simply numbered. Ronald Reagan, there's always a debate on his time, apparently. And I've actually also just numbered what number of president they were. So Bill Clinton is the 42nd president of the USA. Also up here, just for your own interest and for later research, when they became president, how old they were, the number of terms they served, and whether they completed that term or not. So there's just some additional information there about that particular data set. Okay, we've got that loaded up. We're going to leave them all on. We could, for example, turn off all the Republican presidents and turn on all the Democrats, or vice versa. We could create a category here along those lines as well, so we could do that quite easily. But at this stage, we're just going to pretend that they're a large family group. Now, once we've loaded up a data set, we can then open up the family module, or any module. We can open it from here, or as I've been showing you, we can open it from there. Once again, we could click auto search. We'll call them a play group. Just look at this. Click report. The Jigsaw is telling us that it's a pretty big family and it might take some time, but computers are pretty fast in this day and age, so let's just click it and run and have a quick squiz at what it's going to produce for us. It's scanning all the groups, trying to find the major pattern. There we are. It's found it. I've selected play and peer group, which will give a totally different set of text to if it was a family group. Here's your list of people, the list of presidents, and I'm just curious, what is the one that it's picking up? What has it picked up? And it's picked up and says, right, there it is. This group, the predominant sign emphasis is Capricorn. How strange. Because it's a play peer group, we don't get the mythology of Capricorn. We're getting another insight into Capricorn if it is a play peer group. Then the report breaks down. There's also a seventh harmonic pattern, which has a passion and an obsession and intensity, and so on. Indeed, you could read through that report. You can create this report yourself and follow it through. So interesting to know just that this group is a Capricorn group. All right, if we didn't want to do that, we could actually go to manual search, which is what I want to focus on for this tutorial. If we click on manual search, we get this screen. Now, this screen is an engine room where you tell Jigsaw what sort of patterns you're looking for, or if you're not too sure, to see is there such and such a pattern that contains certain features. So let's just step through this one step at a time, because if you can understand the logic of what's going on here, then you can use this very constructively. Here we have the natal points, and the default is the natal points are loaded. Let's clear those out. So here are the natal points that are available to you to select for searching on. At the moment, nothing is selected. So if we click on a point, the moon, and we click the add, then we add the moon. Let's just do that one point. What we've got is 42 presidents of the United States. We're asking to look at the moon. We want to know if these charts, if we put them all together, is there any form of pattern that involves the moon when we put these 42 charts together? Are they forming a unique lunar group in some way? To do that, we have to scan harmonics. Harmonics, remember, are aspects. The first harmonic is the conjunction, the second harmonic is the opposition, and so on. If you're unclear on harmonics, a really easy thing to remember is simply take the number of the harmonic, divide it into 360, and whatever answer you get is what the aspect is. So, for example, the fourth harmonic, 4 into 360 gives you 90. So the fourth harmonic family of aspects is any aspect that's made up of a unit of 90. The 12th harmonic, 12 into 360, obviously is 30 degrees. So any aspect that's made up of a unit of 30 degrees is or belongs to the 12th harmonic. So therefore there's certain overlap between something like the 4th and the 12th harmonic, obviously, because 90 is made up of lots of 30, and so it's made up of 90 degrees, which is the 4th harmonic. And indeed, we get overlap like that. Now, Jigsaw is simply asking you here to sort of, what sort of pattern are you looking for? Remember when we were looking at the first part of this tutorial, the first tutorial in this module, we were looking at the different patterns. So for example, if I simply say look only in the 6th harmonic, 6 to 6, then I'm saying, do the presidents have a 6th harmonic relationship with their moon, which would be a sextile? Are they running sextiles around? They may or may not, but we can do these harmonic one at a time, or we can ask Jigsaw to look through many harmonics. So for example, if I went from the 4th harmonic, which is a square, an opposition or conjunction, say right through to the 12th harmonic, then I'm going to be looking for, asking Jigsaw to scan for the moon through these harmonics. This is the orb for the first harmonic. In other words, the way Jigsaw works out what orbs to use for the different harmonics is that it takes first harmonic equals whatever number you put there. So this would be that you're going to use, if you're looking for conjunctions, you're going to use a 10-degree orb. What Jigsaw then does is that for the second harmonic, it will actually divide this by the harmonic, which will be 2. So the orb will be 5 degrees. If it's the third harmonic, which is the trine, it's going to divide that by 3, which is 3 and some bit degrees. If it's the fourth harmonic, which is where we're starting our scan, is going to divide it by 4. So the orb for the fourth harmonic will be 2.5 degrees, and so on down the list. So therefore, depending on what harmonics you put up here, you will adjust, you can manually adjust your orb here. So for example, a fourth harmonic of 2.5 degrees is probably a little tight. Let's make it 12 degrees, and what that would mean is for the fourth harmonic, the orb would be 3 degrees. For the 12th harmonic aspects, the orb will be 1 degree. Okay, and we're just simply saying to the moon, everything to the moon. Now, we've got 42 possible charts, and there's bound to be just a few that are a fluke, and we want Jigsaw just to really show us the ones that actually have a lot of charts in it. If I run this just saying, if you get 3 or more charts in a pattern, then show it to me down here, I could get a lot of flotsam and jetsam. So let's change this, and let's say, no, if there are 10 matches, 10 presidents with the moon in a harmonic relationship, show me that. Now, if you run that scan and you get far too many, then increase this number or decrease your orbs. If you run the scan and you don't get very many, then decrease this number or increase your orbs. Let's just click search now and see what happens. Maybe nothing will happen. And indeed, nothing will happen. There are no presidents with any harmonic relationships with the moon that fit into a pattern of 10 or more with these orbs. So let's change this minimum matches. Let's make it 5 and see what happens. There. Now we've found 17 different patterns. What have we got? Let's scan through. If you just roll these down, you can see the harmonic and you can see the number of hits. For example, if I click on the first one, several things happen. First of all, down here in the next screen, I see what presidents are making up this little group. I can see it's the moon. I can see it's the fourth harmonic. I can see there's 6 hits, 6 presidents, and that the orb is plus or minus 3. Remember, that's what we set up here. And these are the numbers of the charts, which in this case would be the numbers of the presidents. Okay, now when we click on this, we also get this little diagram here. And what we can see in this tiny little group of 6 presidents, that they actually fill these 3 positions, and this 4th position is actually vacant. If we click on one of the presidents here, it'll light up in red over here as to what position in this pattern they are filling. So we can actually just see them like that. We can also click anywhere in this square and we'll get the diagram converted to zodiacal degrees. So this is all happening around 28 degrees of cardinal. Click back and we get our little image. So this is a toggle switch. Very simple. Alright, that may or may not be of interest to you. Let's just scroll through and have a look. Here's another 4th harmonic pattern involving different presidents. Here's one that's complete involving these presidents. There's 2 times that Cleveland Glover has actually been made president, so he's in the database twice, so he's hogging this pattern, so to speak. Here's one in a 5th harmonic involving these presidents, and this is the pattern. Here's one in the 6th harmonic involving these presidents in this pattern. Here's one in the 7th, and so on down the list. What I like to do is just scroll down the list and find the ones that have the most hits, because these are involving the most people. Alright, that's a very simple search, but by keeping it simple, hopefully you can understand it. We can change this. If we change the orbs and made the orbs 20, so in other words, for the 4th harmonic, 4 into 20 would be 5. So we're making the orb 5 degrees rather than 3 degrees for this scan, and we do the search. We will find still only 17 items. So that's interesting, isn't it? The orb we didn't gain anything. Okay, we can clear this, which will clear all of this. Let's do something else here. Let's say you want the sun and the moon. Now, if we just click on a planet, it will toggle along through to it, but if you hold the control key down, you can do a multiple selection. Or if you highlight the moon, hold the shift key down, you can actually fill in the whole blank. Let's actually take the sun and the moon and add those in. So now we've got just the sun and the moon of the chart. And let's do the same scan. Let's turn this back to 12 degrees, slightly smaller orb. But now this little bit of the screen comes into play. We can ask Jigsaw to find the patterns to the moon, which we just looked at, or we could click 2 combinations, which would mean that it will involve the sun and the moon looking for any patterns, so that a pattern might contain someone's moon, another person's sun, etc. So this is very important, and you get quite different results. So for example, same point, there will be first of all our moon ones that we'd already got. Scroll down and now we see our sun ones. You can see they're not mixed. They're totally separate. So in a sense, we've just asked Jigsaw to do 2 separate, totally separate scans and list them together. But it's doing the moon first and then the sun. That's quite valid. However, if we now click this point, notice we had 39 items found. If we click this point and click search, we've found 16 items which are involving a combination of all. And you see we have far more charts here. We've got 10 charts in a 4th harmonic aspect, 12 charts in a complete 5th harmonic aspect. Let's just scroll down and see what else we've got. Here's 13 charts in a 10th harmonic aspect. There it is again, and so on. Now we can do more than this. We can clear that out. We can add the sun and moon together. But now we want the sun, the moon, plus the sun-moon midpoint. So if we click on midpoint now, whatever we have highlighted here will be forming the midpoints of. So we click that. So now we have the sun-moon and the sun-moon midpoint. Now we're asking for a combination to that through this harmonic scan, and we've found 12 items, and you notice we're getting more charts coming in. So here's a 6 harmonic pattern involving 17 charts, and here are the different charts, the different presidents here. We're going to do something else with those shortly, but we're just looking at creating searches. All right, let's clear that out. We can, of course, go back to points. We can select all of the points, or many of them. The node, Pluto, Chiron. Let's put the angles in. Let's select all of those. So now we've selected all of those whole points, and we can do a combination search again. Now, not looking at midpoints, just searches. And there's Jigsaw working. It's doing quite a lot of work. It's found 24 items, and look how many presidents it's pulled in. 35 of them fit into this fourth harmonic pattern. In other words, 35 of the 42 presidents actually have a fourth harmonic, a point in this fixed grand cross. That's what Jigsaw's telling you. We can scroll down. As I said, I like to have a look. 35 there in a 10th harmonic aspect, and so on. Okay, we can increase this even further, because now if we click midpoints, we can now take all the midpoints of these things and we say add. So look what we've added here to our search. All the midpoints and all the planets. Now, this is going to take Jigsaw a moment to think about this, but let's just click the search button. We're going to get to scan from the 4th to the 12th using this orb, and we're going to do to any combination. So let's see what happens. It's now scanning every single midpoint through all the harmonics. It's thinking, it's thinking, it's thinking. And we're actually asking it to do quite a lot of work. You can go away and make a cup of tea if you want to at this stage. It's found a fourth harmonic pattern involving all presidents, and there's 329 hits that it's found in combination. And it's now going to clock through each harmonic as we're talking. Now, it may take Jigsaw 5 or 10 minutes to do this, depending on the size of the data set you've got and how many, what the harmonic scan is that you're ranging through there. But I think you'll agree it's doing it a lot quicker than what you would do it by hand. Okay, we'll just stop this. You can see now there's actually 42 presidents all involved in this fifth harmonic pattern, and here are the actual points that are contained in that pattern, like so. Okay, hopefully you're now thinking, you're starting to see the many things that you can do with this, but let me show you just a few other points. Let's clear this because it's a little bit excessive. Let's actually just let's just sort of take the points up to Saturn and make it single points, add it into our search. Let's go back to a simple search with our presidents and click the search button, and now we've found 21 items, like so. There's several things we can do here. We can select up presidents, like so. We can select up to 10, highlighting them, and then we can go into display. And there we are. We're back to this strip chart screen, which I was talking about in the tutorial in the family module. The reason for doing this is so you can see what else is going on. Jigsaw loads it up, locks in the charts, puts in the harmonic that you're looking at, and highlights the points that where the person makes this pattern. Now, of course, from this screen, you can double click in the area of that to get the person's chart. So we can double click into Buchanan's chart and get Buchanan's chart, and of course, just like in the other module, here's all the other presidents around the outside. So this gives you the greatest flexibility in working with charts, so that you can actually change things around, alter things. You can unclick, unlock them if you want to highlight something else. So this gives you the ability to look at the chart as well as just see how they're actually linking together in a straight line rather than in a circle. All right, so we start to see different ways that you can do this. There are a few other things you can do here. If you're fed up with searching and you want Jigsaw to do the search, if you hit auto report, that's the same key as going back here and hitting auto search there. So that's a shortcut key. You can just go straight in and say, let's call them a hunting party this time, and run this, so we actually get the report which we got when I started this tutorial. So that way you can sort of bail out quickly and just simply look at the particular report. Here it is now, different text, a hunting party, but we'll still have the Capricorn coming up because it's the same group of data. Now that's one thing you can do. Let's actually clear this. Let's go back to our let's go to Jupiter Pluto and play around with that. There we are. Let's add Jupiter Pluto. Let's add the midpoint. So we're now looking at all the combinations of Jupiter Pluto. We will look at the 5th to the 12th harmonic again. We'll do any combination. We'll say 5 charts. We'll leave that all and we'll click search and we get a selection of charts. Now, one of the things you can do here, you can say, wow, there's a 6th harmonic, and you can find this interesting, and you want more information about this. With that highlighted, sitting up like this, you can click delineate. Now what this will do is that it will actually create a particular report around these planetary combinations. It will once again ask you the type of group. We could go tribal elders, another one, because they are a group of tribal elders. And we can click report. Jigsaw's just flagging that it's a lot of charts, but that's okay. Computers are fast. We get, of course, in this case, because we've selected tribal elder, we actually get what a tribal elder is. We then get our standard list of the full number of presidents that are involved. Right down the list, and then it's found it's a 6 harmonic pattern, obviously because we've selected that. It's giving you the meaning of the 6 harmonic pattern. It's talking about that it is Jupiter Pluto. We know that, we made it delineate Jupiter Pluto, so it's giving you a delineation of the Jupiter Pluto, that this is about power, and then it's telling you who is contributing what to each of this, and then it's telling you who doesn't fit into the pattern and how they might fit into the pattern with other Pluto or Jupiter midpoints. So here's George Washington contributes into the Jupiter Pluto pattern by his Uranus Pluto midpoint, and you've got a delineation of that, and so on down the list. Thomas Jefferson with Neptune Pluto. Let's keep scrolling. You can see the different presidents and how they are contributing to this pattern, if they are contributing at all. Wilson Woodrow, Woodrow Wilson, Uranus Pluto as well. Theodore Roosevelt, Mars Pluto. That's quite interesting. And the delineation of that particular Mars Pluto midpoint. Within that delineation is set for the tribal elders. All right. What we're really looking at here is that Jigsaw contains hundreds of different types of reports you can print out, all coming off of this button. There are in Jigsaw every single midpoint I've delineated with a meaning for if it is a play group, if it is a tribal elders, if it's a family, if it is a gathering group, etc. Every midpoint has been delineated separately over 5 or 6 times. So there's a different delineation for a midpoint for family, hunting party, gathering, playgroup, tribal, and the other there is no delineation for. So every single midpoint has been delineated 5 times, as well as general text about harmonics, all synthesized for the different groups, so that depending on what you select here, what harmonic you select here, what midpoint you're looking at, and what group you select, you will get a totally different report. So Jigsaw contains many, many, many different types of reports, and use that will actually give you quick insight. You can print them out, you can give them to clients, you can search for particular combinations and dip into understanding what that particular combination means. But there's more here to talk about on this screen. Just a couple of more points. Let's clear all of this out. Let us say that there is an eclipse about to happen, and you are interested if the eclipse is going to affect any member of your family or any member of a data group you've got. Let us pretend that this group of presidents are one very, very large family, all alive at this moment in time. If we go here and we specify a position, first of all, what I would suggest you do is you change this to the first harmonic. In other words, we're going to look at just the full 360 degrees of the zodiac. And let us say, well, at the moment we're going to have an eclipse at 28 degrees of Pisces. So 28 Pisces is 28 Pisces. We can put it in like that. It'll convert it to 358 degrees because that's what 28 Pisces is. Or we could have actually just written 358 degrees, either way. Alright, so now we're going to look at all of this group and whether they have an aspect to this. What do you want to check? Well, we could say, does their moon form an aspect to this? Does their sun? Who is being affected by this? So let's just look at all of their points and add those in and then click search. And we can see it's a wide orb, so don't get too excited. 24 of them have a point which are or is around that 28 degrees of Pisces. Let's reduce the orb a little bit down to 3. Let's do another search, and now we've found that this of them have a zodiacal point in their natal chart at 28 degrees of Pisces. So this is actually quite a handy feature for looking at just if people have a point in common or are being affected by a particular event in the sky or an eclipse, etc., then this can actually be quite a useful feature. Okay, there's much to play with here. Key points in summary. Let's just summarize this screen. Let's clear it. The key point is you load up your family group. You then select what you want to search for. Or you can just do an auto report, which in a sense will do all the searching automatically for you and print out a report. But you can do that straight off the main screen. You select the points you want to work with, and once they're selected, you can actually select them as midpoints. If we just have Mercury selected, we do midpoints, we get all the midpoints of Mercury. If you want to clean up that list, we can take out, just by using the delete key, we can take out the asteroids. So now we're looking at and the vertex and the east point. So now we're just looking at Mercury and all the normal type midpoints, whatever normal means, to this fixed point. Click the search, and there we've found that there are 8 charts have their Mercuries in relationship to that. So in summary, we select our points. We select the type of search we're doing, scans or to any position or to a specified position, and we select the scan that we're doing. We select the orb that we're doing. We select how much, whether you want it to the same point or to combination of points, and what is your minimum number of matches. Once you've set that the way you want it, you click the search button. Jigsaw will search. Let's actually just do this. We'll do search. Once Jigsaw's found the items, you click on them, it loads the item down here, scrolling it gives you a little image of what the pattern is here. Highlighting on the person's name highlights it in red. Clicking in this box will simply toggle back and forth so you can see what the degree positions of the points are. Selecting a list of names like so, by just using a Control-Shift key, we can actually go into the display screen where we have all of the features of the display screen, which I covered in the first tutorial. We can also print these things out. Print out this list, print out this list, print out this list. So we can actually gain printouts of anything that we're doing. This is an amazing pattern finding tool. Now, before we finish, we can push the boundaries on this, we can open up, for example, something much larger, like all the storms that we were talking about right at the beginning. Now we've got all the storms. Now the storms contain 739 units of data. We can go into family and do a manual search. But we could do something really quite incredible here. We could highlight all of this and put that through there, and then we could ask for all the midpoints. We could ask for the same point, and we could say, show us only if you've got 100 storms that fit into it. And we could do the aspect harmonic scan to this. Now, truth is, this will probably take several hours to do, but Jigsaw will do it. Here it is, it's doing it. It's now scanning the moon. It's going to go through all of those storms, looking for every single point, looking to find the patterns, and looking to see if there's 100 matches. I'm probably being ambitious looking for 100. Let's say 50. And we'll click that. And there it's found one. So here it's actually finding some, and it's finding storms where the moon has been in particular relationship. Now, this is a very rough search that I'm doing. We would sophisticate it far more than that. But I think you're starting to see, these are the patterns with the moon here. You're starting to see the potential of this. Because once you've actually found hot patterns, patterns which contain a lot of charts, here's 66 storms, here's 90 storms, all happening in this area where the sun is, which is telling you they all happen at this time of the year. That's what that's telling you. But you start to see patterns here which you can build on and work on and build your research. So indeed, don't think just families are little groups of people. This can be, with today's computing power, you can take very large data sets and let Jigsaw run this, and then take your results of that and put that into the research module, which was going to look at next. So you can let this do your pilot study, do your initial scanning of your data, just to see what's going on, just to flush out what could be there. And then you can take that and build that into a tighter research project in the next module, the research module. Okay, we're not going to let Jigsaw finish this, but it is finding some interesting patterns. We're down to the Neptune now, and Jigsaw will probably take another 20 minutes or so to finish this entire search, and we won't do that. But do this yourself. Play with it yourself. You can't hurt anything here. Tinker with it. Start with just simply, like I did, take one planet, one harmonic, little group, run it so you actually understand what Jigsaw is doing, and then build it, then build it, then build it, and then start playing. And you'll find it will explode your ideas on research and pattern finding. It's a very, very exciting part of Jigsaw. At least I think it is. And remember, you can always get help by clicking delineation, and it will give you information about that midpoint. We're playing with storms. You could, of course, put a whole lot of stock markets prices in here, or list of famous charts of companies, etc., and look for the most successful ones, etc., etc. There's no limit to what you can do with this. All right. Good luck and play. Play is the key word here. Play with this, start small, build it up, and then really start having fun. Okay, enjoy.